welcome to the start of another cozy reading vlog. It's Friday, I am on annual leave. I've got today and Monday booked off, and the idea had been to have a nice long weekend right before we hit the chaos and busyness and joy, but general busyness of December and Christmas and winter and all of those things that take place at this time of year. However, I do have to go into work tomorrow to open up for a project, and I am covering a stall at a Christmas market for work as well on Sunday. But I'm not working today, and I'm not working on Monday, and there will be time across the rest of the weekend to read. I have just finished a book, which, if you are interested, it will be in my wrap-up, of course, is Death in the East by Abir Mukherjee. This is the fourth book in the Wyndham and Banerjee detective series, and this was the best one yet. Really enjoyed this. So looking forward to seeing how the series is going to go on and progress now, but this was fantastic. I do have a slight confession to make, in that I had in my head pictured that I was going to do this vlog and read a really popular new release, and I was looking forward to it and it was going to be great. Then I realised that it was my book club's live discussion on Sunday. Because of the way that the dates have fallen, it's the 25th of November today. It doesn't feel like it should be the last weekend of November this weekend, and that we're into December next week. Doesn't feel like that in my head. So I'd got in a little bit of a muddle and thought that the book club live discussion was next week. So I actually have two books that I'm hoping to read this weekend now. We've got my book club's pick, which is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. This is a dark book which gives me My Sister the Serial Killer vibes, and that is definitely what some of the people who have started the book already have said. We read that as a book club in, I think, October 20 or October 21, and it gives me the same kind of vibes. If that's the case, it should not take me too long to read it, and although the writing looks really tiny, I'm hoping that I can kind of get through it quite quickly, not to rush it, but just to, it's not going to be a book that I get tangled up in reading. I don't imagine that it'll be a slog. I feel like it might be quite sharp and quick and easy to read. So we do have that one. And then the book that I would like to get to before the end of the weekend, I'm definitely not going to get to finish it, but I'd like to start it, is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This book is everywhere at the minute. I was really lucky to get a signed copy. It's got beautiful black sprayed edges, and then it is also a signed copy. Don't know too much about this. I know that it's kind of dark academia. It's set in Oxford. It's about languages, Babel, the Tower of Babel from the Bible, etc, etc. This will be my first introduction to R.F. Kuang's writing, so I do have the Poppy War series by this author, which my husband has read and loved and recommends to me all of the time, but I just haven't got to that yet. But I know that this book is really popular. It's giving me the vibes for right now, and I've heard incredible things about it, so I do want to get to this. So this was kind of the book that I was picturing that I would read throughout the weekend, but even just to start it and maybe get it finished before December will be fantastic. So yeah, we have these two books to read this weekend, and then in order to make sure that I am complying with all the different regulations and rules, I do have to tell you that I will be featuring a sponsored product in this vlog. So I have been sent a candle by Aran Home called After the Rain. I wish that there was a way that I could communicate the smell of this candle to you, because it is just so beautiful. So I will leave a link to Aran Home and all their products in the description bar down below, but it smells so good. And yeah, I'm just going for a cozy vibe in this vlog, you know, blankets, candles, dark early rain hitting the window pane, all of that kind of vibe, and I feel like these books will also give a similar vibe. So we're going to start with this one, obviously, and then hopefully we will get on to Babel as we progress, featuring the candle, which I will leave a link to down below. I feel like that's enough of an introduction for this. Let's do some reading. As per usual, I'm being far too lazy to go and get my proper camera. It's dark. The quality is going to be bad anyway, although it isn't as late as you might think. It's only about 4:30, but it is pitch black outside, truly a miserable day. So that's just waffle to say this is why the lighting is poor. I didn't actually do too much reading today. I did instead do some Christmas shopping because I hadn't done any at all, and we don't do Christmas in a big way as a family, but with the various postal strikes and different things going on, I thought I'd better buy something for the children, so I have now sorted that. I am 66 pages, and no, more than that. I am 75-ish pages into How to Kill Your Family, and I am really enjoying this. It has a very dry, sharp and dark storytelling style, and I am just so here for it. It's just really good. I'm flying through it. I actually haven't spent more than about an hour reading, and I'm just eating it up. So we have our main character, Grace, who we know right at the beginning is in prison for a murder that she didn't commit, and she has decided to instead write down and tell us, the readers, about the murders that she did commit. So Grace has grown up vowing to kill her father's family because her father abandoned her when she was little. Her mother unknowingly had an affair with her father, Simon, who was married with a child. Her mother didn't know that, and when she fell pregnant with Grace, he basically said he didn't want anything to do with them, and so Marie and Grace have lived in poverty. Sadly, Marie dies when Grace is about 13, and Grace learns that her father is not a good guy, basically, and makes a promise when she is 13 that she's going to make her father's family pay. And so one of the very first things that happens in the book is that she goes to Spain and she kills her grandparents. She's now hunting her uncle. It's all going down in this book, but it is just delivered. The information, the way that Grace is telling us the story, is just delivered in a really flat but sharp and dark and twisted manner. And it's not so much the recounting of the murders that I'm enjoying, but her observations about people and their behaviours and things that people are interested in and how they interact with each other and how they treat various people is quite amusing. I have laughed out loud at many of the statements that she has made in this book so far. Pretty much every single page, actually. If I've not laughed out loud, it's at least made me snort or smirk. I'm just really enjoying the very dry delivery of the story and what she is recounting for us. So yeah, really flying through it, thoroughly enjoying it, appreciating it and being entertained by it. I would hope to get at least halfway through tonight, although we are going out to James's parents for our dinner, but I would hope that I would get at least halfway, if not 3/4 of the way through tonight, and then I should be able to get it finished tomorrow and start Babel. But best laid plans and all that jazz. We will see how we go. I also have eaten most of a box of Maltesers, and I do actually need to stop because there's just no need, is there? They're great snacks, but there's just no need. I'm gonna have to film this really quickly because Darcy's being an absolute pain. So 200 pages in, nothing more really to report beyond what I said earlier. I'm still really enjoying the writing style and the storytelling and the delivery. It's dark, it's sharp, I'm finding it very entertaining. Can't obviously go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil the story for anyone, but I am just about to head out now to go and open up for our warm space project at work, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more reading done whilst I'm there because I'm not needed for much more than just kind of opening and locking up. I do have one observation which I'm still a little bit on the fence about, and that is that our main character has a real issue with men, and I can't decide if that is the character because of how she's been treated by her father, or if it's the author's opinion about men. And on the surface I have no issues with people no thank you Darcy, making observations about the misogyny and the prejudice and the patriarchal setup of society and the inequalities and all of that, and the way that men are taught to behave around women, and certainly men of privilege and wealth. There is a certain behaviour pattern that we see, and I don't mind any of that, but it is just a constant stream of aggressive narrative towards men, and I can't decide if that is part of the character or if it's the opinions of the author coming through incredibly strongly. As I say, I have no issue with that. A lot of what she says is not wrong. Some of what she says doesn't always stack up for every man that you meet, but you know, quite a lot of what she says has obviously been rooted in some truth, but I don't know if it's the author's truth or if she's using it as a tool to communicate how she feels, or if it's just a thing that her character feels because of how she was treated by her father. I don't know, jury's still out on that one. Darcy is literally about to kick off, you can hear it in the background, so I'm gonna go and open up at work, do some more reading. I will talk to you all later. If you can believe it, it has actually been 2 weeks since I filmed that last clip. We were in the car taking some Christmas trees down to my work on Sunday when I got a phone call from my boss to say we had been broken into, and could I come down, which we were anyway coincidentally, could I come down and do an inventory stock of what had been taken. So that was my Sunday afternoon, and then Monday was cleaning up and giving statements to the police, so I had to cancel my day of annual leave, and my whole cozy weekend just literally went poof away in a cloud of smoke. So yeah, that was kind of the end of that. And then the following weekend I was away helping my mum with something, which I'll put a couple of photos of here, so didn't really get to recapture the vibe, and then life has just been really busy. In terms of reading, I did manage to finish How to Kill Your Family, and I managed to finish it before the live discussion. I have talked about this in my recent wrap-up, but very quickly I gave it 3.5 stars. There were elements that I thought were 5 stars. I thought it was really entertaining and I loved our main character, but there were too many other things which overall let the book down. So overall rating 3.5 stars, and then it has taken me almost all of the 2 weeks to finish Babel, which I absolutely adored. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. It made me sob and sob at the end. Stupid story, but it is by no means a quick read. It is incredibly dense. There is a whole lot to grasp and understand in this book. There's a whole magic system involving silver and the inscription of words. There's a lot of discussion on etymology and translation and the construction of languages and the use of words and their meanings and their original meanings and how we take their meanings and warp them, and that becomes an accepted use of the word in modern language. We've got our characters, we've got various different things going on, and it's just a whole lot. Whereas this book was very entertaining, very quick to read, very immersive. You were just in the story and where you went. With this one, it took a lot more of my time and concentration, and I loved it. I loved everything that it was offering. I loved our characters, even though they're not very likable and they make some really questionable decisions. I loved the concept. I loved the whole of it, the setting, the themes, everything. It's just not a quick read, or it wasn't a quick read for me. I really found that I had to pay attention. There are also footnotes scattered throughout. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. There are footnotes scattered throughout, which I do struggle with as a reader. I find that it takes me out of the flow of the narrative, and I always take longer to read books where that is the type of setup, and that was definitely the case with this one. But for everything else, I cannot fault it. I don't think I'm being over generous giving it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not like a quick, entertaining, dark academia book. It's much more intense than that, but I really enjoyed it. It has just taken me a really long time to read it. So not the ending to this vlog that I particularly wanted, but I did eventually read the 2 books that I set out to read. I'm now in my festive TBR, so all being well, life events excluded, I'm hoping to have at least 2 or 3 vlogs where I read the 6 books that I am setting myself for the month of December, probably just creeping into January. So do look out for those. As I say, I'll leave a link to my recent wrap up where I do talk about this in more detail. This I didn't finish till early December, so this is not included, but it will be in my December wrap up. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you are all keeping safe and well. Sorry that this vlog sort of peters out a little bit, but I didn't want to waste the footage that I had filmed and edited, even though I wasn't able to maybe have the cozy vibe weekend that I wanted to. So I hope that you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you've read either of these books, let me know. I'd love to chat more with you in the comments. But for now, thank you very much, take care, and I'll see you soon.